All right, guys, Big Poppy down here at the river once again. We're going to be doing a shoulder workout with these dumbbells and specifically this kettlebell. I want to show you guys my favorite shoulder press exercise. It happens to be with the kettlebell. This is a 35-pound kettlebell. You can get whatever kettlebell you want to do this one. I'm going to show you guys what I did today. Okay, this is not a follow-along workout. You can follow this protocol, but this is just what I did. Okay, I'm going to speed it up here. So the first thing is about 10 minutes of doing stuff like this. Okay, bend and reach. Okay. Shoulder circles, this stuff. You can go like this, like 10 to 15 minutes of this stuff, man, with a warm up, right? Get your heart going. Okay, I'm gonna move this. So the next thing I got into is kind of like a light weighted exercise with the warm up. Okay, so it's the same thing. You're gonna be doing some deadlifts, right? Just getting it groovy, right? So I'll do like 5 of these, let's say, and then I'll go into some shoulder raises, right? Some lateral raises like this. I'll turn my hands forward, right, to hit the rear delts. I'll turn my hands away, right, to hit the biceps and front delts. So I'll just do stuff like this, and then I'll like integrate them, right? Deadlift into a raise here. Okay, we're gonna do some light. This is just light work, guys. So if a light dumbbell for you is could be 2 pounds, could be 5 pounds. I'm just using 10s. This is all warm-up stuff, right? And we're just going through all the motions, right? I don't want to get my lower back warmed up because when I start doing the shoulder press, there is a bit of a rack component, right? So we got to pull that weight up to our shoulder level. So it's important to get warmed up like that, right? We can even do some bicep curls, right? Just some curls, just whatever. Do some triceps, right? And I just kind of like goink it here, right? You don't have to be strict for me. Like when I'm warming up, like this would be like strict, right? I can integrate a shoulder press with more tricep bias, right? So I'll just warm up. Done with those. Make sure you hydrate. Guys, we're gonna get in the river after this. I'm gonna prioritize like this video for the shoulder press. So I'll get to that, and then I haven't gotten in the river yet. So now we're going to pull out the big one, okay? This is a 35-pounder. How much is this? Yeah, 35 pounds. So before I shoulder press this, I still want to get comfortable with the weight, right? I'm not just going to throw it up and start shoulder pressing it. I'm going to do some like same kind of things we're just doing. So do some deadlifts, right? Do some deadlifts into some high pulls / upright rows, right? So we're like integrating the lower posterior chain into some shoulder exercise, right? You could even do some kettlebell swings, right? Kettlebell swings are good, just in general, right? So we're just going to do some rounds of that, right? So deadlifts, maybe let's do 3 deadlifts into some high pulls, right? And we're just still getting warmed up, but I'm starting to use this heavier dumbbell with both hands just to get used to it, right? So of course this is not necessarily like a hypertrophy workout that you find in the gym where you're doing like a gradual step up. We got to be more creative, right? When we've only got 2 weights, and of course we're being creative because we're down at the river. So guys, let's do the actual. Starting to get dark here. Let's do the actual shoulder press now, okay? So all of what you just saw, guys, I would do over the course of 30 minutes, let's say. When I start getting into this, I'm taking longer breaks between because it's a heavier press. And then I'll do, I don't know, 10 rounds of this. I don't know, whatever. I'm just making this stuff up, guys, right? When you're down at the river, you're out in the park, you're at home. It's harder to do a progression, right? So you can just be creative with it. So the first thing I'm going to do, one hand, okay? I'm going to pull it up to here, all right? And we're going to rack it. This is called racking the kettlebell. So I like to rack it like this. Have one hand up, and I always do it like that. It's always the same, right? Has a defined beginning and a defined end. That's what I always tell people when I'm coaching them. When you do some kind of movement, have a defined beginning and a defined end, right? Some kettlebell nerds might say that's not good, whatever. I don't care. So next thing I'm going to do, now this is where it differs, guys, for me, okay? You can do just like a shoulder press, right? That's just like a shoulder press you could do. I like using the kettlebell because it gives some more versatility with the press aspect, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna stagger my stance a little bit, and the foot that has the kettlebell under it, yeah, that's right, I'm gonna plant it on my toes, okay? And now when I press, I can do a little bit of a push press. I'm gonna turn inwards and press all the way up and pivot on my toe, okay? I'm gonna pivot. So I'm gonna do a little push press, pivot, and see at the top here, my hands, I'm splaying my fingers out, okay? And you could do that because the center of gravity with the kettlebell, this is why I like using the kettlebell. The center of gravity kind of sits back on your hands. So I find that I can get a full extension with the kettlebell by doing this, right? Now, I don't know what these are called. Obviously, I've done like research, obviously a lot, you know. Everybody has names for things. People call these different things. You call like an inward rotational kettlebell press, I don't know, whatever. So again, full grip, racked, right? Toe up, slightly staggered stance. So my working toe is a little bit behind my planted foot, okay? And I'm rotating inwards, pressing straight through. Okay, let's do all the angles with this one. So guys, I'm gonna rack it. Okay, so now we're racked, we're comfy, we're cozy here. It's all good. Plant toe, slightly staggered, and press through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Here's the beginning, there's the end, we switch, right? It's important not to switch hands when you're still in motion for something else, right? We'll go from here, working foot planted back, toe up, staggered stance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, guys, watch this arm when I'm doing this. This is how I do this stuff, right? So I'm gonna rack, okay? Start here. 1, right? So I'm actually exaggerating the motion for the twist. 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Down, switch. Feel like I'm dancing. Rack, right? Here, I'm gonna exaggerate the twist, right, with this arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I'm rotating through. You're getting more room in your upper torso to pull off the movement, right? And you're twisting at the bottom, right? So I find that there's less pressure on my spine, right? So it's a good one. Now, I'm gonna continue going, right? But I want to get in the water right here, okay? This is kind of my spot. I'm gonna set this up. Let's do this live, guys. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. The water's not too cold. It's kind of low. This is my go-to spot. Now, I usually just kick around. Make sure there's no friggin' snakes or anything. They're gonna bite my ass. Okay? And oh man, yeah, that's cold. That's cold. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment with any videos that you want to see me do, either in the gym or at the river or whatever. I can do whatever videos, man. I'm gonna sit here in the water for a little bit, but this is the end of the video right now. Thank you for joining. Bye now.